You know, for months, there have been these whispers of a quiet crisis brewing inside Apple. Well, today, we're connecting the dots on something that isn't just a strategy update. It might just be the single biggest retreat in the company's entire history.
And it really all boils down to this one single shocking idea. What we're seeing, it's not a partnership, it's a surrender. It's Apple, after 40 years of winning on its own terms, finally admitting that it has met a challenge it cannot beat alone.
Okay, so to really get why this is such a bombshell, we have to talk about something that's at the very core of Apple's DNA, the walled garden.
Look, for decades, Apple's game plan has been incredibly simple and frankly ruthless. They build this perfect, seamless world, and they control every single thing inside of it. No partners, no licensing. The competition stays out, period. So when you hear the news that they're seriously considering licensing AI from Google, their biggest rival, that's not just a crack in the wall. That's an earthquake shaking the entire foundation.
And this gets us right to the heart of the problem. A move this drastic, this desperate, it doesn't just happen out of nowhere. No, it's a symptom of a much, much bigger crisis that's playing out behind the super secretive walls of their headquarters in Cupertino.
So, at their big conference, Apple rolled out Apple Intelligence. And yeah, the presentation was beautiful, the vision was amazing, but what's happening behind the curtain? Well, key features are already delayed, and pretty much every expert agrees their AI models are at least a full generation behind what Google and OpenAI are doing. Let's just call it what it is. Apple has a massive software problem.
And this isn't some abstract problem, right? You feel it every day. We all have. You ask Siri to do something that's even a little bit complicated, and it just falls apart. It's great at setting a timer, but it's not a modern AI. Now compare that to something like Google's Gemini, which can actually understand and reason across text, pictures, and audio all at the same time. The difference? It isn't a gap, it's a chasm.
And you better believe Wall Street is noticing. I mean, while companies like Nvidia and Microsoft are going all in on AI and watching their stocks just explode, Apple looks like it's stuck on the sidelines. For investors, the pressure to get a world-class AI into your hands right now is absolutely immense.
So what do you do when you're backed into a corner, you're falling behind, and the pressure is on? You look for a lifeline. And what has to be the biggest paradox in tech right now, Apple is turning to its #1 rival for what is basically a life-saving technology transfusion.
Let's be really clear here. Google's Gemini isn't just another app. It's a beast. It's a multimodal model that can do all the things Apple is desperately struggling to do at scale. For Apple, this isn't just an upgrade. It's like an instant teleportation into the top tier of the AI race.
Let's just break down the cold, hard logic of why they'd even think about this. I mean, it's a painful shortcut for sure, but it's also incredibly pragmatic. One move, and it instantly solves their feature delays, it makes Wall Street happy, it puts them back in the game overnight, and, this is the big one, it buys their own engineers years of breathing room to try and catch up. It's a desperation play, but you have to admit, it's a smart one.
Now, some people will say, hey, this is just a smart business deal. Outsource your weakness, focus on your strength. But that argument completely misses the staggering cost here. And it's a price that you can't measure in dollars and cents.
The first cost? It's to their identity. For 40 years, the entire Apple brand has been built on this myth, this illusion that Apple, and only Apple, can create the magic. This deal completely shatters that. It's a public admission that their biggest rival does something better than they can.
The second cost is maybe even bigger. Apple has spent the last decade building its brand as the ultimate defender of your privacy. So what happens when your private conversations with Siri, your personal questions, are suddenly being processed by Google, the biggest advertising company in the history of the world? It raises some huge, really uncomfortable questions, and it puts a massive dent in that privacy shield.
And the third cost? Well, it's all about power. For years, Google has paid Apple billions just to be the search bar in your browser. That's a simple deal. This is different. This would be like embedding Google's brain deep inside the iPhone. It doesn't just change a deal, it fundamentally rewrites the entire power dynamic of Silicon Valley.
So, what we're really watching here is a classic, high-stakes business school drama playing out in real time. And it's a choice that is going to define the next decade of technology for every single one of us.
It's the perfect example of something called the innovator's dilemma. Does Apple protect its pride, its brand, and that 40-year-old walled garden strategy, and risk becoming a dinosaur in the most important tech revolution of our lifetime? Or do they make a deal with the devil to save themselves?
So let's boil it all down. Here's what you need to remember. 1. Apple is in retreat.
after a rare and massive failure in AI. 2. A deal with Google, it's a painful but necessary shortcut to stay in the game. 3. The real cost here isn't money. It's their brand, our privacy, and who holds the power in tech. And 4. Whatever choice they make is going to shape the future of the phone in your pocket.
So now the question comes to you. If you were Tim Cook, if you had to make the call, what would you do? Do you swallow your pride and partner with your rival to win the AI race? Or do you protect Apple's legacy at all costs?
There is no easy answer here, which makes it so fascinating. Drop your choice in the comments below, brand or AI. And hey, if you want more breakdowns of the secret moves happening in the world of tech, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe.